attorneys. Are you mad? Are you mad? Are you lean? Let's get into the video. So today we're talking about the lion returns to the jungle. We saw King Tommy come in to the villa and just show people what an alpha male looks like.
Professional boxer.
Oh, fucking
Tyson Fury's brother, man.
You're Tyson Fury's brother?
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Too good looking to be a boxer, you.
It's mad in the dunya. Cool. So if you haven't seen my part 1 of my video, I kind of spoke about the whole thing, what happened. And now I'm just going to focus on the very end. So the fun thing, there was a lot of things that were interesting that was happening. Just before Tommy and Curtis came in, the guys were playing a game. And they asked each other a couple of questions. Now they asked obviously who's cheated. Sheriff actually decided to open his mouth and say that obviously he had cheated. And I feel like he tried to play it like he was a cool bot, like, you know what, yeah, I cheated, like I get gal kind of thing. And the way his mannerism and facial features, facial expressions were going on, it's almost like, yeah, I'm a bad boy, I do what I do, you know what I'm saying? But Anna was sitting right next to him, unapologetically unimpressed by him. And when he mentioned, obviously, yeah, I've cheated on 2 girls, trying to say, like, you know, like, yeah, bruv, it did not go down the way I think he thought it would go down. It wasn't even close. Not only that, the second question they asked as well, where they asked about who's had a threesome. Anton obviously said yes, he's had a threesome, and instantly, I think he mentioned something funny, and then Sheriff kind of picked up on it. Not only that as well, what's her name? Amy also made a little bit of a joke as well. She tried to play it off like she was unfazed by it, you know what I'm saying? Kind of go along with the banter and stuff like that. But it was interesting the way that obviously Lucy reacted to his story. It's the way she was laughing and giggling. And Joey was so uncomfortable. I mentioned this in my last video, just kind of recapping. And it was so interesting because, like I said, Joey's energy had shifted. He now has become uncomfortable. He's sweating. He's crying already, bro. Like, you know, he's already in his feelings. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying that it's normal, because if you like somebody, no matter if it's day 1 or not, if you like somebody, it happens. Do you know what I'm saying? You spend the time with them, and, you know, you get to know them a little bit, and you find them attractive. That's the main thing. When you feel like you've got the biggest fish in a pond for you, and someone comes along and takes the fish off your hook line, you're not going to feel comfortable. And that's exactly what it is. So I understand Joey's kind of apprehension, and we know that there's a lot of apprehension from, because even when the guys came in, when King Tommy came in, look at his body mannerism and reaction when he hugs, when he gives her like a, you know, broski hug to Curtis. He immediately turns around and his face is just foredrawn. He's not involved in the whole environment at that moment.
Curtis, nice to meet you, brother. Sweet, man. Come join us. How are you? Curtis,
It's been such a full-on.
And he goes back to sit down. So you can tell that he's not happy about the situation. Why? Because he feels like his girl's going to get taken. He's already had Anton try to swoop in and move a bit mad with the girl that he's with. And now he's got another situation where some new guys are coming. How's that potentially going to change his comfortability, his security? Suddenly he's not secure anymore. Do you get what I'm saying? Gone from a BLT straight to an egg crust sandwich, my G, in a few seconds. Yeah, so that's a big thing as well. I feel like obviously as well, there was a third question they asked about obviously who's had sex in the public or something like that, or in a nightclub. And I feel like that question was orchestrated. Who asked that question? Who asked such a question? Do you get me? And I feel like it was orchestrated to get that answer out of Lucy, so that they could get that interaction. So she mentioned it, and Anton looked impressed. Joey didn't look impressed, but Lucy was kind of laughing about it. And then she had to explain, oh, it was my boyfriend at the time. So again, just to make herself not seem like she's sleazy or slaggy, she said, oh, it was my boyfriend at the time. And then we fell asleep in it, and everyone kind of laughed. He fell asleep in the toilet, but Joey couldn't laugh. Joey still stum. And that let me know that, listen, Joey is not impressed. Why? Because again, he's scared for the fact that his position is not settled. Cool. Fast forward when the guys actually come in. The reaction of the guys, first of all, was so interesting. Tommy comes in, his physique is immediately noticeable, so you know when he's coming.
How you doing?
Mate, alright.
Good?
Yeah, good, mate.
He comes in and you can see Sheriff, you can see Callum, instantly like, whoa, like who's this coming in? Instantly recognizing that someone of a certain caliber is coming in. When they actually finally get into there, And they sit down. Interesting how obviously Callum and Sharif again react to King Tommy. And when Tommy obviously mentions that, I think it was Callum even noticed that you're Tyson Fury's brother. And then obviously he reacts like, whoa, 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 instantly. And I want to mention that men and women are so different. You will notice that in the moment that when Tommy and Curtis joined, that the men were very honest about, Rod, you're good looking, or you know what, fam, like we can tell you're gonna come and do damage. The men are very open about this. They never really try to shy away from it. Whereas when women come in, new women come in, it seems like there's always a bitchiness or there's a fight going on between the women. Because why? Because women love to be worshipped. That's why God has created them. They want their beauty to be praised. Like every girl, listen, you can say that she's smart, you can say all this stuff like, you find you're intelligent, you're funny, but the moment you mention, listen, you're really beautiful, the woman reacts. Why? Because God has made it so. The Bible says that male and female, He created them. When we adorn God with our words, man, it's like, yeah, when we worship God with our heart and our words and our life, God's like, yeah, I feel them. That's my child. So like you have to understand that we're made in His image, so there's a part of us, but because we're in a fallen state, for those who don't know Jesus and don't know about Christianity, because Adam and Eve ate the fruit from the tree, it's turned into a negative aspect now where women want worship, in the sense they want the words to praise them. And so you can see that straight away, so you can see that when women congregate, there's always a beef when it comes to them being around men, because of the fact that beauty is the main holder, or the main currency that buys power in that society that they're in, which is a villa at the moment. So you notice the girls don't say anything, but the guys are saying something, and they're all very open and honest. And it's because the Bible talks about women should submit to husbands. Men love your wives. Why? Because men find it hard to love, but women find it easy to love. But women find it harder to submit, but men find it easy to submit. Hence why when men get into the workplace, we don't struggle to submit underneath another man. When we're around each other, we don't mind submitting to the person who's going to be most, who's got the greatest leadership skill. We're not having a fight about that, because really and truly all we care about is getting the job done. And so when it comes into the villa and you see a man coming in, you see that the men are not. Yes, they're shaking up, and they're like, oh, sure, my position might be under threat. But it's an understanding that this guy's a good-looking guy. Tyson Fury's brother, Curtis too's a good-looking guy. My position's under threat at the moment, not because I feel insecure about me, but because it's new days. You know what I'm saying? You can come and potentially take my gal. So I think men and women react differently, and it's interesting to see that. It's when Anton is very interesting because he's got a lot of confidence. That guy, man, a lot of confidence, and the way that he acts is very, very interesting. Like when they came and sat in, he just tried to show to everybody that he's not afraid, he's not intimidated, and I believe that he's not. I believe he believes in his own spiel, if you want to call it that.
Yeah. Too good looking to be a boxer, you.
I don't know about that, mate. Steady on, man. Steady on.
I'm chatting up more guys today than girls.
And the first thing that he did, but it's interesting, the first thing that he did is that he put Curtis on the spot with the question about who would you choose or who do you fancy already. And that put Curtis on the back foot, but when you threw that grenade, listen, Curtis took that grenade, threw the grenade back. So listen, no, I can't answer that question, like, so and so. And the grenade was instantly thrown back. And Anton said, oh, good answer. Why? Because he was trying to unravel Curtis again. Couldn't really unravel Tommy, because a lot of what Tommy is in the looks at the moment and the physique. It's as men, we weigh up a beef before we start a beef most times. You know what I'm saying? When you try to weigh up, can I win this fight? And so when you see with Anton is that he didn't go at Tommy, he went at Curtis, because Curtis for him is the weaker link. So there's that instant behavior. Him, Anton and Tommy will become cool friends, so long as they don't go for each other's girl. The reason why I say that is because they both have the same kind of. Tommy's got the absolute Adonis looks, in the sense of that he's high, he's tall, he's good looking, he's got great eyes, great skin tone. Like he's a boxer. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it seems like he's a total package. But without there being someone else by your side, like it's almost like having the greatest boxer alive without actually having competition. There's no point. You're not the greatest boxer until you have a good competition. You're only as good as your competitor. So when you look at obviously Anton and Tommy, they potentially could become really good friends and really good competition. So yeah, I feel like Anton really played it carefully. He didn't go at Tommy. He went at Curtis. Interesting enough, when Curtis obviously then went on it to expand, and mentioned his point about the fact that, you know what, I'm more about the personality. Anna responded and said, he's just like me. She instantly made her play. By saying that, she instantly made her play. She didn't have to say that out loud, but she did. She made that play to let Sheriff know, I'm already looking, and two, I could be going. And making her play to Curtis and saying, listen, hey, I'm here. I don't want Sheriff, I'm here. Cool. Sheriff's getting bored, because if I'm Sheriff, I don't know what I'm even doing. Let me know down below what you think Sheriff should do. So that's happening. Moving on from there, we look at the situation in regards to, obviously, as well, when obviously they asked Tommy, what's your thoughts then about a girl in a villa? And then he tries to go along the same line that Curtis did. And I think the reason why he did that is because although Tommy isn't seen as an alpha male in terms of the looks, he's already said that he's a soft teddy bear. And if you look at Tyson Fury, he always exerts this kind of big teddy bear kind of feel. Like it's not naturally rude, or you want to say dominant, right? But he looks like Tommy could be dominant. Do you get what I'm saying? But he didn't choose that time to. If he had chosen that time to establish and say, listen, this is the girl that I feel that's nice, he would have had more girls wanting him. Why? Because he would have established his alpha maleism. But what had happened, he actually lost some brownie points. I'm not saying that he's not going to be attracted, people are not going to be attracted to. What I'm saying is he lost a bit of ground by not stating who he liked, because the woman had given him the ground to do so, to mention who you think is the best looking. And once he didn't say it and tried to go along the line of Curtis, Anna checked him. The reason why she was able to check him is because he didn't act as she expected him to act, and so therefore she took advantage of that and actually then checked him and said, no, don't go down that lane. She wouldn't have checked him if he had said, listen, I think Amber and Anna right now are the most good looking people to me, but you know what, I'm trying to get to know everybody. If he had said that, he could have made the game open for himself. But by not saying that, he went down the kind of like, oh, I'm trying to be the nice route. And Anna's like, that's not you. Like, what I see, I don't see that. And it's interesting because reputation, how we see people, how we view people, isn't always how people view. It's not always how people introspectively review themselves. We might view Tommy as this King Kong, but in himself, he may not feel like a King Kong. He knows he's good looking, but he may not act like a King Kong, and that's interesting as well. Anton made a joke. I think again, I'm going to focus back on Anton. That Anton is very, very clever. He's a smart guy. Listen, you see your Anton. He's weighing things up very correctly. And I think men do this often as well, where we weigh up, like I said earlier, weigh up before we have a beef. I noticed that he did the exact same thing for Michael and not for Sheriff. So when Michael came, what he said was, hey Michael, I still like you, don't worry, I think you still look good looking. He actually gave his seal of approval to Michael. He did the same thing for Tommy. He said, Tommy, you're a good looking lad, you look too good looking to have a fight. Instantly seal of approval. But when it came to Sheriff, he didn't say that. He said, your legs, you know what, you probably haven't shaved. He didn't mention anything about looks. You probably shaved your legs. He insulted Sheriff. Again, it's to state that what's his viewpoint towards Sheriff, that he doesn't think he's good looking. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, you have to deep it where, you see, Sheriff is the type of person who's trying to get to the top table, but he hasn't got top table abilities, unfortunately. So he's a bit of a floater. And unfortunately, when you've got Anton, you've got Anton, and who else will be on the top? I believe everybody will be like Anton, Michael, and then Tommy. So Tommy at the top, Michael on the left, and Anton on the right. So Anton gave a seal of approval for Michael, gave a seal of approval for Tommy, but didn't give it approval for Sheriff. And that will be them three there being the head of the table, and then the rest of them following suit. So you have your Sheriff, your Callum, and your Curtis, and whoever, I can't even think of anyone else is out there. What I feel like Curtis is going to do, Curtis is going to float. Curtis is going to float. The reason why is because he's not like any other boys. Things like ballroom dance and stuff like that, that's got nothing to do with the boys out in there at the moment. So he's going to be a floater, and he's going to be very interesting because I feel like he's good looking enough to capture one of the girls in a way for longevity, but he's also different enough not to want to play the same game as the guys. So it gives him almost this kind of enigma, and he's able to kind of float in the. He's in the same table as like Sheriff and them mans, but he's able to maneuver whatever way he wants. It doesn't bother him.
We're all still shitting it.
So what's your job then?
I am a ballroom and Latin dancer.
Thought so.
What do you do, man?
Whereas I believe Sheriff is trying to reach the top. Callum is a person who doesn't really care if he's at the top table or not. He just wants to be loved. Do you know what I'm saying? Whereas Sheriff cares about being at the top because he considers himself to be at the top. Do you get me? That's where the aspiration of trying to be at the top causes harm, because now you have to start doing things to make you seem like you're at the top of the table. You start choosing gal to see if, to show that you're at the top of the table. That's why he went for Amber. That's why he went for Anna. But yeah. So we're gonna see some. I want to see some interesting things in terms of dynamics as well. So yeah, that's my honest opinion. That's the King Kong stuff. That's part 2. Let us know what your thoughts are below as well. Let us know what you thought down below. Listen, you ain't got the minerals, baby. Are you mad? Are you mad? Alina? Little black book, you know what time it is. Yeah. Zaza.